Father Frank Nelson and I met about age 21 or 22, both having finished college. I don't know too much about Philly, but he said apparently there were so many Catholics there, and they were building these big high-rise buildings, they couldn't find enough land to build churches on to fit all the people in. That's not the same problem that we have.
Monsignor Nelson was ordained in 1966 and assigned to St. Joseph's Parish in Macon, and was there for a few years, and then was sent back to school at Catholic University in Washington to study canon law. And he came back to the diocese probably in early 1970-71, and essentially began a tribunal program for the Diocese of Savannah.
He was just a good priest. He believed in things that he did. He loved the people, you know, that he worked with, or his parishioners.
Monsignor Costigan, who was the pastor at Sacred Heart, where Frank lived for many, many years in Savannah, while Frank was doing the tribunal work, he lived there in residence. And Jim, I think, was the one who had given Frank the moniker, the Judge. So everywhere he ever went, you know, people referred to him as the Judge, and he liked it. He liked it, and it was part of his personality.
And part of that time, he was full-time in an office that was dealing with the ugliness of life, how people's marriages failed and broke up, and trying to redeem it, but still it was ugly day after day to confront that.
I like to think that in his years of quiet and steady and hard work by himself in a tribunal office with secretarial help, he helped a lot of people in the Diocese of Savannah and beyond to be able to enter into a valid sacramental marriage.
When we were all younger priests, we used to play basketball occasionally, a gathering together of priests at Sacred Heart Gymnasium. And we were all absolutely surprised because he had a certain dignity about playing basketball. He would especially just kind of go up and put the ball backwards into the net, and he took great pride in the fact that he knew more basketball than the rest of us put together, you know.
At Christmas, when he was at Our Lady of Lourdes, and I think out at Cabrini also, he would dress up either as Santa or an elk, and I think one time he dressed up as a fairy, and you know, he liked doing things like that.
Well, with me, he was a parish priest at Port Wentworth for a good number of years. And then, of course, he went out to Cabrini, where he was for, I forget the number of years in each one, but he was a substantial number of years in both places.
The building of the school was the part that was tickled me the most. I don't think anybody out there was agitating for that. But if you lived in Philadelphia, you don't have a parish if you don't really have a real parish if you don't have a school. And I think that was somewhat in his blood. He needed to give them a school, at least have a stab at it.
He was very deferential to me as the bishop, as he always was, and would be very helpful in telling me what I should do or not do, and kept me in touch. But he was very, very kind of circumspect about it, and wanted to make sure that nothing was out of the place under his watch when he was Vicar General. I remember going by personally to tell him that our Holy Father had made him a Monsignor, and that was probably some of the best news that he got in his priesthood. That was kind of an accomplishment. That was, you could say, the peak of his ecclesiastical career, to be a Monsignor in the church. And he was very proud of that. And
he always made it clear to me. He said, I want to help. He said, I know I'm retired, but he said, I still want to help. And he said, please don't take me off the list.
Even when he was upstairs and Vicar General or whatever he became, he still did some work in the tribunal.
Even when he was in the hospital, he said to me just recently, he said, I still want to do cases. And I said, I understand. So, you know, he was a kind man. He was never harsh with people. He was just a very good man.
I just thought the world of him, still do.
I think he wants to be remembered, first of all, as a churchman, you know, that he was faithful to the church and that he kind of was well thought of by his fellow priests in the diocese.
That I will always remember Frank for many things, but most of all, I will remember with gratitude his love for the priesthood and his respect and obedience to his bishop. Good and faithful brother, may you enjoy the Lord's peace, now and forever. Amen.